Hello everyone, this is Mutated Nuts and today we'll be continuing our beginner-friendly Road to OSCP video series. Today we'll be looking at another hack-the-box machine, that is Popcorn. Popcorn is based on Linux and the difficulty is medium, so let's just get started. So first thing what I always do is I run an auto-recon scan. If you guys don't know what auto-recon is, auto-recon is an enumeration tool. It's gonna do few nmap scans at first, and based on the open ports and services, it's gonna do additional scans on them. So 95% of the time it works really great, but sometimes you have to manually enumerate things. So I do use it for all the boxes, and then probably if I don't find anything, I try to manually enumerate it. So we'll be using this against the target machine. So that's why in order to run this, we'll be giving Python 3 over here, and I want to run it as root, this file, right? So that's why I'll be giving sudo, I'm running the system as Kali. So I'll be giving Python 3 over here, I'll be giving the auto-recon file path, and I'll be giving the target IP address, that is 10.10.10.6. In the case of Popcorn, I'll be giving the O switch for output directory wherever I want to save the location, like save the scan result. So what we'll do is we'll just look at the scan result now, because I did already execute it. I don't want to execute it again because it takes quite some time. So let's just look at the full TCP nmap scan. If you see, we have port 22 open over here running SSH, and it is open. So we have port 80 over here which is open running HTTP. So we have the version over here. These versions are not like the latest updated versions, but I don't think there are any remote command execution exploit. But if there are any, probably you can go and check it out. But yeah, we'll go and check out for this port 80 which is open over here. So let's just do that. So let's just go on the web browser 10.10.6, and it says like it works. This is a default web page for the server, and web server software is running, but no content has been added yet. So we do not have anything over here. Okay, so let's just look at the view page. So it's like a HTML page, and it's like just plain text. That's it, nothing else over here. So what we'll do is, next thing, obviously this auto recon file runs the GoBurster scan as well, but I try to manually run the GoBurster scan at times because sometimes it does not work, GoBurster. So but in this Popcorn case it actually did work, but I any which way try to do it manually, sometimes giving my modification or the way I want it. So probably add GoBurster. GoBurster, if you guys don't know, it's an directory fuzzing tool, and it's gonna fuzz the directories over here on the web application. So before that, in order to run GoBurster, you require a word list. So we'll just look at okay, let's just do locate common txt. So common txt is, it's like around 4,000 directory names. So let's just look into that first. And if we do cat, so we have like a huge list of directory, right? So we have like zoom over here, zoop, zorum, zone. So in short, what it's gonna do is, if we use it with GoBurster, many of you guys may already be aware, but yeah. So zone, it's gonna check for zone. It's gonna ask the server, hey, does this directory or file exist? So we'll be like, hey, it does not exist. So based on the response, that way it's gonna analyze things. And if we add extensions as well, so it's gonna check for probably like, hey server, does this txt file exist? So I'll be like, hey, it does not exist. Then you'll probably add, hey, does PHP exist? So I'll be like, okay, it does exist. Sorry. So it's gonna, based on the extensions and the result from the server, it's gonna give you an output. So let's just look at the GoBurster scan now. GoBurster directory. We'll be giving directory for the directory scanning. So directory mode, we'll be giving uswitch for URL HTTP and 10.10.10.6. And we'll be giving the word list which we had copied earlier, the path, and we'll be giving the extension switch. So we'll be giving X, and we'll be giving different extensions like THT, PHP, PL, PY, SH, and probably CGI, HTML, the ones which are very common with Linux. Okay, so if there were Windows, we could give some batch extensions as well, like BAT or something. Okay, so we have these files over here, so we can probably give the O switch. Okay, we'll just enter the O switch for output. It's the best thing to always save the output so that you can refer to it later as well. So probably just enter common txt, sorry, extension txt. Okay, so you can enter anything you all want. Just hit enter and the scan starts. It takes some time to load, so I did already execute the scan, so I would not do it again. Another thing is, we see over here we have threads 10, right? So we can run it faster by having T40, and it'll actually run like a bit faster, like 4 times faster almost. Okay, so I did already execute the scan, so let's just look at the scan result. I think this was done with the auto recon itself. So We have CGI bin over here, so let's just look into it. If we have something, we do not get anything. It says like forbidden, you do not have permission. So what we'll do is another thing, we can just use GoBuster and we'll use the run the CGI bin scan over here. Okay, so let's just run the scan. So in short, instead of checking for directories over here, like in this particular subdirectory, okay, the child directory over here is gonna check for directories over here, like after the CGI bin. So this is what it's gonna do, GoBuster. Okay, so we see that scan result, we do not have anything over here, so let's just ignore that. So let's just go back to our GoBuster scan. We have like index HTML and multiple index pages over here. So that's gonna be the same it works page. Okay, so that's the same it works page. And go back over here, we have the test PHP. So let's just look into it, and we have the PHP version information, everything. We have the PHP info page. Okay, so we have a lot of information over here. We have the configuration details and everything. And another thing is that we have file uploads that is on. So if we add LFI over here, so we could use that PHP info exploit. So I think it was done in the poison video. If you guys want, you all can check that video out. Okay, so this is very useful over here. We get the system information over here. Okay, the kernel and 32-bit OS and multiple things. We can go through it, but for now, let's just park this aside because I don't think we get the path over here as well. So this is where the file is present. So sometimes if you want to do like path traversal attack or something, so this would be useful, right? Okay, so what we'll do is, next thing is we have this torrent page over here. So let's just look at the torrent page and see if we get something. And we see that we have a web application over here which says torrent hoster. Okay, so this particular web application is present over here, and if we see, it's like from 2007, so pretty old. There are like few comments over here on news which is like from 2007, so pretty old over here. Let's just look at login, and we come across the login page over here. So first thing, obviously we have a web application. First thing, check for default credentials if it is present, but I could not find any for this. And then look at search exploit probably, or look at exploits, search exploit and torrent hoster. And we find something over here for torrent hoster, which is this. So let's just look into it. So it says something, you have to tamper some data or something in the upload directory maybe, or some upload path or page which is present. So it says torrent PHP mode upload. So let's just look into it, and we see something we have over here which says upload. And if you see, for some time that upload thing comes, but obviously it redirects us to this login page. Okay, so what we'll try to do is somehow try to bypass this login. So there are two ways to do it. One thing is I would actually try to do SQL injection over here. Website is pretty old as well, so let's just try to do that. Before that, you require a payload, right? So we'll just look at payload, all the things. We'll try to get SQL injection payload over here. So let's just look at this, and let's just scroll down till we come to that authentication bypass section. Okay, so we have this. So let's just copy this entire thing, this entire set of commands, not commands, yeah, exactly. So 119. Okay, so what we'll try to do is we'll try to route this traffic using burp suite, through burp suite in short. So we'll use burp suite over here. So that's why we'll be changing our network settings in the Firefox browser. We'll be adding manual proxy configuration over here, that is the localhost IP address, and port number is this 8080. So let's just leave it as it is, stick this on, so that you get SSL support as well. So obviously this is not SSL but HTTP only. So let's just go to, burp suite. Close, okay. So obviously, I'll just leave the interceptor off because I just want the HTTP history. I do not want to intercept and do something. But obviously, what burp suite will do is, burp suite, this blue path is, that means this blue burp and this Kali machine, it's present in our attack machine itself. But Kali machine, the Firefox, the request will go to burp first. Burp will then send the request, and we can even modify the request to this box, popcorn, okay? So then Popcorn will send a response. It will come to Bob first, then it will come to our Firefox application. Okay, so that's how this proxy thing is going to work. So obviously we'll make sure that same port number is present over here itself so that it can intercept traffic from Firefox. So what we'll try to do is, now we'll just try to log in over here. We'll use admin, just try to log in. Obviously I try admin as well, and admin password, all the default credentials, or like whichever is easy. So I tried that, but nothing worked out. So let's just go over here, and we have a post request over here. Okay, so it says username admin, password admin. So this is a post parameter which was sent. So what we'll try to do is, we'll just send it to intruder, not repeater but intruder, because we want to do that Sql injection attack. So we have the positions over here. First thing, we'll clear it off. We have this admin, just press clear and clear all the positions. Otherwise, we'll check for payloads in multiple positions over there. We'll clear this admin as well. We do not require admin. And we'll add these two things. So press add twice. So it will add this thing over here, and based on that we can add the payload as well. So let's just add the payload. We'll paste it, whatever we had copied earlier, right, from your payload, all the things. So we'll just paste it over here. It has multiple payloads, so we have this position set. We want the payload to come over here in between of this. So ensure obviously it's going to replace this thing and the payload will come. We leave the sniper attack as it is. We'll just start the attack. It says like, this is a demo version of intruders, so some functionality is disabled. Let's just do okay. Let's just start it and let's just analyze the response. So first thing is that we see HTTP 200 coming all the way, and we see a 302 over here, and the response length also is different. The response length over here also is different. So let's just look into this, or look into this particular response. Obviously you can just try to enumerate things and check. So we see that we have an SQL query over here. So the server is actually throwing out the SQL query, which is this. Let's just copy this over here to our cherry tree, and we'll look into this later, a bit later. But we have this intruder attack over here, right? This says 302, so we can just change status from 302. We have this thing over here. Let's just try this payload in our web browser. So obviously, since we got 302, that does not mean that in a web browser it may redirect us directly. Because web browser is like a different client to the server, and this burp suite is a different client. It's a little tricky to understand, but this intruder, in short, was a different client. So what we'll do is, we have this password over here, and let's just add admin over here. That's it. We add this username. Sorry, that is this, because it gave us a 302 over the response, right? And it looks like we have the access over here. Okay, so that means we have this admin page over here, and as well as multiple things. So now we can go to uploads over here, probably add something, but for now let's just log out and see what this actual injection happened, like how it took place. And let's just look at another way to log in as well. So we see over here in an attack there are multiple 302 requests. We have this as well. So let's just consider this for now, this result, admin and colon and the hash over here. So what we'll try to do is, we'll just try to use it over here in this SQL payload which we found, right? So this payload was present obviously in that response over there. So what it's trying to do is, it's like select these things where from user tables where username is equals to this thing, So obviously just try to consider that we are adding admin only, and obviously this is like a hash. Okay, so the password will be saved in a hash format, not plain text. Most of the times it is hash itself. So let's just consider hash. Let's just write hash of admin. Let's just consider that way. This is a hash. Let's just consider that. So I'm entering username, username as admin, and password also an admin, because obviously, but in the database it's saved as hash of admin. So we have this admin and admin over here. So in short, this is how it's gonna check. Like, it will check the database. Hey, is admin user present? They're like yes. Then it will check, and there are two reasons. Is the password hash of admin, the hash actually? So it will be like yes, it does match. So then you give access to it, give access to the user. But now, and we can obviously add more things as well, and probably just check for the time or IP or something like that, something similar, not IP but just something like that. So we have IP also is there at sometimes, like whenever there's a static IP given, sometimes you can do that, but I think it's very rarely used. So we have this admin thing over here, right? What we'll try to do is, what we are doing now is, we just enter this thing over here, this code, and then we are giving a space, we are adding the hash over here. So that means this is for comment. So in short, this entire thing would be commented out. So it would be like this. So in short, it would be like, hey, username admin, that's it. No other second condition. If the username is admin, give access. You do not require the password anymore. So this is how this SQL query or SQL injection works over here. So let's just log out first and see if we can log in using that admin hash. So let's just log in again. We come across this login page, do admin, and we'll give it the hash as well. Let's just add a password over here because I think you cannot leave it blank. So let's just add it, and we have the admin page over here. So that means successfully exploited SQL injection. Okay. So what we'll do is another thing. Let's just close the intruder attack for now. We do not require it. Just close it. We saw how we got access to it using admin. Another thing is let's just sign up, because most of the times it's, you know, you don't have SQL injection, so probably just add this muted and nuts, muted and nuts, muted and nuts, muted and nuts at test.com. Enter the code over here, EBOB. Okay, register, and it says that it has created an ID. So let's just try to log in. And we log in over here as well. So the reason is we do not require admin privileges in order to do this intended path. So let's just do it from the low level user which we tried to create and try to log in. So we go to this upload page over here. It says that you have to have a torrent file present over here. So first I thought that we could probably upload this torrent file. We can do some bypass and get some shell like PHP scripts executed, because this is running PHP over here, torrents.php, right? So it's running PHP. So, but this did not work. But what I did was obviously try to get a torrent file that you can get it from Kali Linux. You can get any torrent file, I guess, but it would be safe to get it from Kali Linux. So they have the torrent page over there, so you can get it from there. Okay, let's just do download, I guess. Downloads over there. Okay. So this is the file which you can download and try to upload it over here. So I already did download it, so let's just look into it. Let's just press open. Probably just add test. You can enter any category over here. I just added others and others. Probably test again, and then I just left it as it is. So I'll just upload torrent. So one thing is, whenever you're uploading a file, try to exploit it. Try to upload a genuine version first. Genuine version as in the one which is going to be successfully accepted by the server, and server is going to process it, save it, everything, because that's how we'll come to know what does the response look like. Okay, so obviously let's just do this upload torrent, and we could not obviously exploit this entire path over here like the torrent thing. So let's just see if we get anything extra later. Do not require this, so let's just close this as well. It takes some time to upload. Okay, so it's finally uploaded over here, and we see that we have something over here which says like screenshot. So once we do edit this torrent, we have an option to upload a picture over here. Okay, that means PNG, JPEG, GIF file. So in short, we can try and execute things over here and try to get a file. But first thing, obviously, in order to execute successfully anything like upload functionality, if you want to exploit it, try to upload the one, or which will actually accept it, which will actually be accepted by the server. So what I did was I took a screenshot. Okay, like this is the screenshot which I took, and this is genuine PNG file, right? So let's just try to upload that first. And obviously our burp is listening, right? So our burp is listening over here, the proxy is listening. So what we'll try to do is we'll try to upload the file and try to capture that request in burp. Obviously it's going to be captured because the proxy is running. So let's just use the test PNG and do submit screenshot, and it says that it is successfully uploaded over here, and please refresh to see the screenshot. So let's just close this for now and reload this torrent page. Okay, so and if we see, we have the screenshot present over here. So let's just look into that, into the proxy. let's just find that. So obviously it will be in the post request because you're sending some data, right, over here. So get request, mostly the data would be over here itself. Okay. So we have this post request over here. What we'll do is we'll just try to send it to repeater. So if you guys don't know what repeater is, repeater makes things easy over here. So it's gonna actually take any request, okay, from the proxy, and you can modify things over here and just send it. So like I just added one, I click send, I added two, I click send. So that's gonna make things easier for us. You don't have to intercept it, modify it, send it that way. So what we'll try to do is we need to exploit this, probably this upload of functionality over here. So let's just look at PHP upload bypass. We get multiple articles, you can go through it. So but this is a beginner friendly video, so I just wanted to show that, you know, where you can find multiple things. You can get it over here as well. But if we see over here, it says like use the whitelisting approach and probably upload a file like shell jpeg php. So let's just try that now. So obviously we do not want to change that jpeg thing, so let's just add php itself over here. And another thing is, do not change anything else. This is the data of that image, right? So do not change anything else. Over here, enter PHP. So this is a PHP code, one line code where you can enter a parameter. So in short, this mode parameter is present, right, for this torrent PHP file. So that's the parameter we are entering over here. But we are trying to execute a system command. So we are giving echo so that to display the output and display the command, whatever it's going to give. And we'll be entering system command over here. So then we'll be giving this request, sorry, and we'll be opening this bracket, entering a parameter that is muted and nuts. You can enter any parameter over here, but these things, my bad, these things over here you cannot change, just leave it as it is. Then close this bracket over here and semicolon and close this as well. So we have added this particular parameter over here. So let's just see what it does and let's just see if it accepts first. Okay, you can obviously do trial and error. And one more thing is, if okay, let's just look into it if it accepts. So if we send, it says like upload completed, please refresh to see the new screenshot. So let's just, my bad, let's just load this and we come across over here, we have the screenshot over here. Let's just look at open link location. Okay, or we can just copy link. Okay, yeah, sorry, copy. And we come across this page over here and it says like you cannot execute a blank command. So what we'll try to do is we have this PHP file, right? And obviously this is, looks like some hash over here. So let's just do muted nuts. Who am I? And we get successful remote command execution over here. That means we are over here as www data. So probably can just enter over here, not owned exactly, but almost owned. So we can just enter on users www data. Okay, so we added this over here. So obviously we have a successful remote command execution. You can probably just write host name as well. It will give popcorn, and we can check for multiple things over here, like which netcat maybe, and it says bin nc. So netcat is present. We can check for python. If python is present, we have user bin python as well. So I added the plus over here because if you add space, it's not going to work because URL encoding is required, because otherwise it will think that this is part of some other command or something. So obviously we got successful remote command execution. One small thing what I want to tell you all is like the problem which I came across for some time, obviously then I tried the other way, that if you enter PHP over here, right, dot PHP and PNG. So what will happen is this entire thing will be renamed with this particular image file over here, and the extension will come over that is PNG. So this particular torrent upload and this particular target machine will actually render it as an image. So this thing would not work. So that's why you have to enter PHP in the end over here, so that this thing gets renamed to that hash file which we saw over here, this entire thing, and we have that extension over here. Okay, so what I'll try to do is now let's just look into this latest request, which is the, let's just try to send a request over here. Torrent, why is this request not coming for some reason? Okay, let's just do this. Show all. Yeah, so we have the request over here. I think it was for some reason, I don't know. Yeah, you have to do show all, so that's how we got the request now. So what we'll try to do is we'll just try to send it to repeater, and we have this muted nuts parameter. We send who am I, we'll get the output as www data. So now what we know NC is present, we know Python is present. So next thing is let's just start our netcat listener on port 4444. My bad. 4444. NC is a tool. If you guys don't know, you can probably have a connection from the target machine and your attack machine. So it sets up a connection like, and we'll be using the N switch for numeric IPs only. We'll be using verbals, and we'll be giving L for listening. That means we are in listening mode. We'll wait for the server to initiate this connection, and we will be giving the P switch for port number. So that is 4444. So what we'll try to do is we can just probably use one of the pentest commands. So pentest monkey, you just go to reverse shell cheat sheet. Okay, we have this bash command. We can try to use that. I'm not sure if it is going to work, but let's just try it. We have this bash command over here. Let's just enter 10 and 14, and we'll enter 2 over here. That's my attack machine's IP address and port 4444. Okay, so let's just take the entire command and press Ctrl U. Highlight it and press Ctrl U so that it gets URL encoded. Let's just send it. And we do not get it because for some reason I think it did not work. So let's just look into a different one, that is Python. You can have this Python shell, or probably you can use this netcat one as well. So let's just look into this Python shell. Remove this entire thing and paste it over here. So obviously you need to change this thing over here, that is 10 and the IP address and port number in short. So let's just add 14.2.4444 and we can do the entire same URL encoding over here. Ctrl U and press send, and we have a shell over here. So if we do who am I, we are as www data. Let's go back to home. We have a user named George, okay, and then we have a user flag over here, and we can very well read the user flag because we belong to this others group, I guess, because I don't think we belong to George. We belong to the www data group. So we have read access over here. That means we come to this third group over here. So we have read access. So we can very well read this user txt file. Okay, so this is how we got the user access over here. So another thing is we try to manually check out things over here if we get something. But I don't think, first thing I obviously do is you name A after getting the flag. Again, obviously we had this information in that PHP page as well. Then we can do another thing is sudo L to check if we have something, but it says sudo L not present. So what we'll do is now we can try to run linum scan over here. Okay, but so let's just run that because that's what I do, and I just check for these things manually over here. We have this bash history over here, but we cannot read it. So we have this cache and other things over here. Let's just look at cache. So it says like we have message of the day over here. So this is, if you don't know message of the day, I think this is for like SSH. If you do an SSH connection into the box, you will get a message like, okay, like how in Windows you get this welcome screen, like earlier versions, I guess. Now I'm not sure if you get it, but you get a welcome screen, right? Welcome, this is something. So this is like that message of the day, but only we can read it, I guess. So let's just try to read it. Nothing, it's blank over here because there's no data present. Okay, so what we'll do is we'll just go to TMP folder, I guess, and we'll try to get linum into the box from our attack machine to the target machine. So let's just try to do that. Before that, let's just locate for linum.sh. So linum, if you guys don't know, it's an not enumeration. Yeah, it's gonna find things like after you get into the box, it's gonna enumerate things for you. and it's gonna give it. So that again another thing, don't always rely on that. So most of the time it does work and does give you the result, but okay, we have this. My bad. Let's just go to exploit directory and then paste this particular file over there. Okay. So we have Linenum. You can get it from GitHub, I guess. So let's just try to use that. So what we'll try to do is set up a Python 3. So we'll be using the HTTP server. So I'll be giving the M switch for module. I'll be giving the HTTP server over here and 8000. So the server has started, and I think we have get wget over here, right? Yeah, we do have wget. So let's just get the file 10.10.14.2, and we'll be giving 8000 over here, and we'll be giving linenum.sh, and I will not give the output directory because I think we are in temp directory itself. So it's present over here. We have linenum. So let's just run the scan, okay, and see if we get something useful. Okay, chmoded, so probably mention chmod 777 over here just in case, or you can probably mention 774 and linenum.sh. Now try to run it. So it's already over and you get multiple interesting things over here. So first time whenever I do the box, I obviously try to check out things, it's not like, oh, I saw something over here and I tried to exploit it. It does not work that way, I guess, for most of the people, unless people are like very experienced or something maybe. But okay, I'll also obviously have to check out for multiple things. I'll check out if we have write access over here. Whenever we have write access, probably that will be exploitable, right? And then check out for any binary which we can exploit and something like that. So obviously, in short, I check out for multiple things over here. So this is what I did on this box as well, but I could not find anything interesting in this linenum scan. But what was interesting was, we can just look on top. Sorry. So we have the system information over here. It says distribution release 9.10. So another thing what I would like to add in my book as well, personally, like whatever the release is, obviously we can find the kernel version and something, right? But we can just try to take this distribution release version and try to search against search exploit. So let's just do that. Just open a terminal over here. Search exploit, add this version number, and we get multiple version number, I guess. So we can just enter Ubuntu. Okay, and we get few things over here. It says Linux spam, MOTD, file tampering, privilege escalation, and there are multiple other things which says like some kernel exploit, I guess. Okay, so this is like a local privilege escalation. This thing I want to avoid. I do not want to do this thing because it says kernel exploitation. But obviously we have two useful things over here, it looks like, and it says MOTD. So when we saw earlier in the cache, right, we saw MOTD present. So let's just look into that MOTD thing. I think it will be present over here as well. That etc file, MOTD. That is message of the day. I'm not sure. I don't think I can find it over here. Okay, but I think it is present. MOTD is present over there. So since we had that cache present as well. So I think if we do the Torrent scan, we'll find it probably, but let's just go back, cd etc. Yeah, so we do have MOTD over here. So okay, so the MOTD is actually running. Okay, so running as it's not running, but we have that particular thing present. So in short, we'll just try to have these two Linux privilege escalation thing done over here. So let's just try to first copy it into the system. You can do X switch as well just to read it, but I just prefer to copy it and then read over it. So you can use the M switch for mirror and do that, and do the same with the other one as well. So probably just remove this thing. Okay, so we have both the exploits present, that is 214273 and 14339. So let's just look into it if we find anything over here. And over here, if you read the exploit, obviously first thing is just read it. Just don't download and copy it and then try to run it. But just read it. So it says over here, it says like you are gonna tamper some file over here, echo file before tampering. But I think this is something related to the file, which is gonna give you access to that particular file or something. But yeah, if you look over here, we have a different thing present which says like it's gonna actually create, okay, it says local root by adding temporary user tour and tour with id 0 to etc password and etc shadow. So it's gonna add up temporary root user which is named as tour and the password will be tour, and does not prompt for login by creating temporary SSH key and authorized keys entries. So in short, it's gonna let you SSH into the box, within the box obviously. So when we are inside the box, you can obviously do a local SSH session as well. So first thing, in this box, we cannot do it with this particular shell itself. So if we try to exploit it, it's not going to work. So let's just try to upgrade our shell, and this is what probably do it in every box to upgrade the shell. So since we have Python, we can give Python C, that means the command switch, and we'll enter the command over here, that is import pty, okay, and pty spawn, then enter bin, then enter bash, and probably close this. I don't think it's required to close, but just do that and see the difference probably. We have this bash shell, which is like somewhat like a semi-complete shell. Another thing we can just check for how to create a shell in Linux. So I think this is the one. You have multiple steps over here, but if you look below the cheat sheet, so it says using HTTP options. So this is what we are going to do over here. Okay, this is the first step which we did right just now. This is the first step which I executed. So we do that. Now what we have to do is we have to press Ctrl Z. I know if you press Ctrl Z, it's going to close the shell, but it will go in the background. So we do Ctrl Z, stopped in CNVLP 444. Now what we'll do is we'll do HTTP raw echo. I know most of you guys may already know this, but I'm just trying to show. HTTP raw echo, this is the same thing which we saw earlier, and we hit that. Now what we are trying to do is we'll hit FG, but the important thing over here is if we hit FG, it's not going to show up in the screen. So you guys may think that I'm not pressing anything and just hitting enter, but that's wrong. So I'll just press FG now, F and G, I hit enter. So we have this NC NVLP 444 coming back again. Okay, so we got this thing again. I did not type it, I just entered FG, but we had this thing background, right? So it came to foreground. Now what I have to type is reset and hit enter, and it says terminal type, so probably enter screen over here, and we get a terminal which is like, if we do who am I, we can go left, we can go right, and we can even add the previous commands over here like up and down. So that means we have like a full shell, probably like what we can use in the terminal itself. In the first video, the lame box, I had shown how we can do it with the Python, a reverse shell handler and all these things. So this is what it is, and for some reason, whenever I close the shell, right, so it gets stuck, like it's frozen up. So that's why I don't always use it, but yeah, sometimes I do prefer using this as well. So this is how it's done. So we upgraded our shell in short, right? And we have this particular code over here. So since we have this SH code, let's just try to run it, but for some reason it's gonna fail. Why? Because we have to convert it into DOS to Unix. So let's just do that first. But if you guys want, let's just try to convert it. Oh, yeah, this is a second exploit, I guess, right? Yeah. Rename exploit 1. Okay, let's just rename it to exploit 1 for now, and we'll try to send this. Our Python server is running over here, it's hidden but it's running. So let's just duplicate that file, go to cd tmp and wget 14 to 8000 and linum.sh. Let's just leave it as it. Okay, sorry, my bad. Ah, we have to get that exploit file. Okay, so we have that exploit file. In order to run that exploit file, we need to have bash present over here. So we need to run it as bash. I think over here also it's mentioned over here. Bash and this Ubuntu PAM MOTD local root. So we need to give bash over here. So before that, let's just chmod it. So you can probably chmod. Let's just give 777 for now to be safe on the target machine. So it's fine. And we'll probably give exploit1.sh. Okay, so we give that. Try to run it now with bash. And it says like, some error or token error or something. So it does not work that way. So we need to have DOS to Unix done. So if you do DOS to Unix, we need to change, like there are some white space characters which we need to remove. So that's why we need to use this DOS to Unix over here. It's present in the Kali machine 2020, I guess. So you can use that. If it is not present, I think on GitHub you can go and get the py file as well. So we can use that DOS to Unix. Okay, so I'll just create another one over here which says exploit2. That is the Unix modified one. So I'll just leave it. And later on I'll show you all that I don't see any difference, but there are few white space characters as I think over there. So we'll do DOS to Unix and we'll do exploit to, because obviously sometimes I'll be like, oh, the script is broken, it's like unexpected token on 39. So you will look at the script. This is only for SS scripts, I guess. So look at the script over here, like, okay, backup. I'm not sure what is wrong. This looks fine to me, So that's why this comes handy, DOS to Unix. Okay. So we'll have exploit2.sh, hit enter. It says converting file, and I think it's done. So it's done already over here. Let's just open this, on the side. Open this as well, and open this. So if we go to line 39, for some reason, we do not find anything, right, over here. There's nothing present. It's identical. By the looks of it, it's identical, but behind, obviously, there'll be some white space character, something like that. So what we'll try to do is, we'll try to use wget again, and we'll try to get the exploit2 file. My bad. I used insert, I guess, over there. Yeah, so now we'll try to chmod it as well. Exploit2. We did that. So now what we'll try to do is, we'll try to run the file again. The bash file, not the bash exploit2 file. So using bash, we'll try to run it. And now we see that we get multiple steps over here, right? And it says success, use password 2 to get root. So let's just do that. It says I entered toor, T-O-O-R, press enter, and we are over here as root. Okay, so let's just go to our root directory. And if we do who am I, it says like root over here, we do ID, it says like root. Okay, so we are in the system as root, we have the root access, and if we see, we successfully exploited, right? The code actually worked. And earlier it did not work over here. I think it gave us an error. It says error over here. But if you look into this, that two exploits side by side, so that's like just magic. Okay, my bad, there are white space characters, so I think that DOS to Unix removes it. Okay, so we have this thing, it did execute, we have a root flag, we can read it because we are in the system as root, and we get the flag. Obviously, so this thing was a little tricky, and another thing to add into the, sleeve or, into your checklist or something. Obviously, hope you guys are following some checklist for privilege escalation and everything to check each and everything. So you can add that distribution release, do a search exploit against it, get some exploit maybe which are applications are present over here, and try to exploit it. Okay, so this was the box. If you guys like the video, give a thumbs up. If you all have any queries, ask me in the comments below, and do subscribe for more upcoming videos. Thank you.